good, but it's okay. Screws are so much better, so much easier. And I lost my good hammer. I'm just using like a little, this is like a little craft hammer right here. So if I had my big hammer, I think I'd be better. Probably not, but I think so. All right. I found my hammer that I like better, so I thought maybe I'd share that with you guys. So this little hammer, no good. This is an Estwing. It's a pretty good size hammer. I like to use this one. I just set it on the floor, and there was something on top of it, so I couldn't see it. But we're just going to hem this outside corner here, and then after that we'll just finish flashing in the front, and then we'll flash those corners in the front. I just very quickly bent those around to save as much material as I could. It's an okay corner. It took me a while because these are the oldest straights known to man. These are older than time themselves. This was when Jesus was a carpenter. This is what he flashed with. So Alright, so the last couple of things to do. It's going to be house wrap, and then furring strips and siding. And if you're wondering what furring strips are, so basically I'll show you on the wall. So here's your wall. You would cover this in house wrap, which is a weather resistant barrier that water can't get behind. So water would hit the house wrap and then shed down. So we put furring strips behind the siding. If this was a furring strip right here, we would put this behind the siding to keep the siding away from that weather resistant barrier. So you'll see there's a gap there. And that gap is to let the wall breathe. So rain would hit, rain gets in, water tends to get behind the siding. It's normal, so water gets in, it hits that weather resistant barrier, and then it falls down the back off the flashing and onto the ground. And that way the siding is protected. And if the siding does get wet behind it, this air gap allows it to breathe. So it's a pretty simple thing, but it's pretty important. I hope this shed never rots away ever again, because if something like that happens, I'll just end up tearing it down, unfortunately. If it's in really bad condition the way that it was before. I don't know if this was if I would do this project again. I had a lot of fun doing it. I learned a lot, but it's just a lot of work for just a place to put shovels and tools and stuff, I mean, it's just a lot, man. It'd be easier probably to build one new than it would be to rebuild the one that I'm in right now. But it was good. So on siding, we work from the bottom up so that the next layer is overlapping the top of the previous, because the whole idea is to make this shed water the best it can. So you want to make sure that water is not getting back behind that paper. So you work from the bottom up to overlap the next over the top of this first seam. So we also use these. These are plastic cap nails. This is a little plastic washer. It basically just flattens down and creates, it's not a perfectly watertight or weather-tight barrier, but it's as close as we can get it with the conditions that we're working with, and that's fine, really. If you were doing a house, you would want to go above and beyond, and you would maybe want to get that zip system sheathing, and you would want to do like the zip tape, stretchy tape, especially around windows where you get a lot of air leaks and a lot of penetrations for like water and stuff. But for this case, this is way overboard. I'm just going overboard on this shed because hopefully I never have to do it again. I like to do things where it's kind of a little bit overkill, so that I don't have to go back and do the same thing twice. So that's an ideal scenario for me, is to only have to work like this one time. Otherwise, it's useless to go through and do this the first time if it's just going to fall apart in a little bit. You know, a year, 2 years. This will probably be fine for like the next 20 years. Maybe at some point the siding will rot at the bottom, but I'm not using like weather impermeable siding. It's just like that LP Smart Side. It's OSB, so you're putting OSB outside in the elements. It wicks moisture pretty easily, so the next guy can just come along, tear the siding off, and put new panels on. It wouldn't be that hard. It wouldn't be like what I'm doing now. Another thing that I wanted to mention too is this might not really be necessary technically, because this isn't a heated building, so air can't condensate on the outside. So I mean, the likelihood of like moisture getting behind the siding is pretty low. But this is a pretty good idea to do anyway, just in case that does happen. There's not potential for me to ever want to heat this building, but you can imagine, like, you know, if I come out in the winter time and I just got done riding my dirt bike or something and I throw it in the shed might warm up a little bit. So the difference in temperature between the inside and the outside could be high enough to get some condensation on the sheathing. It's just not likely to happen. But this is definitely what you would do with your house. You know, I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing on this project. I've never, I'm not a carpenter. You can tell by the way that I swing a hammer that I work at a computer. So I just kind of looked at some videos and read some magazine articles, Fine Home Building, some stuff like that, and just sort of figured it out. So, but this is analogous to how you would do a house. You would do it better, but this is the general idea. I wanted to say too, earlier you might have seen me do some caulking underneath where the sheathing meets the foundation, and that's just to basically create a barrier between the bottom of the sheathing, which is just a plywood edge, and the ground, and that would keep that from wicking moisture up through the concrete into the wall. That's a pretty important thing to do as well. So